Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Concern Podcast, where we unpack political, social, economic, and cultural stories shaping our world. I'm Emmanuel Taban, and on this section of our podcast, I want us to look at the recent appointment of Adut Salva Kiir Mayardit, the daughter to the president of Salva Kiir, to the position of the presidential senior advisor on special programs. And I want us to look at why disappointment is strategic, but also why it could mean good for the country, for South Sudan. And without further ado, let's move in. But before we dive into the details of this video, if this is your first time watching a video on this channel, please I request you to subscribe or hit the notification button so that you get notified of subsequent videos that will come after this. It's just a way of making this channel grow and reach wider community of people out there. And yes, as I said, as you have witnessed that last week, the President of the Republic of South Sudan, Salva Kiir Mayardit, appointed his daughter, Adut Salva Kiir Mayardit, to the position of Senior Presidential Envoy on Special Programs. And this position was previously had been held by the current Vice President on Economic Cluster, Benjamin Bol Mel. He served in that position previously before he got appointment to the position of Vice President leading the Economic Cluster. Now, some of the roles that Adut Salva Kiir Mayardit will be playing in that position as a senior presidential envoy on a special program includes: one, resettlement of displaced persons, especially those in the protection of civilian side, the POA sites within Juba, and these include IDPs or internally displaced persons, and even refugees probably from other countries, or South Sudanese who are being hosted in other countries as refugees. So one of the tasks ahead of Adut is resettlement of these people, getting them to better places or making them get back home. Second of all, the other task ahead of her is she will be also in charge of rehabilitation of war-affected communities. She will be in charge of rehabilitation of infrastructures, empowerment of youth and women, but also she will be in charge of delivery of essential services to war-affected areas. So these are some of the responsibilities that Adut Salva Kiir Mayardit will be discharging when she takes on the role as the senior presidential advisor on special programs. Now, the reason why I made this video is mainly to make you understand why I feel that the appointment of Adut Salva Kiir Mayardit is so strategic, and why, if she exploit her position very well, it could lead to a shift in the political leadership of the country. And one, on the strategic part of it, I feel that, I don't really have any issue with the president appointing any person to serve in a position, And after her appointment, there are so many people who came out and criticized the move taken by the president, appointing his own daughter to serve in that position, citing that there are so many South Sudanese who have equal qualifications as Adut who could serve in that position. But even beside being the daughter to the president, Adut is a South Sudanese citizen who deserve every equal right and benefits that South Sudanese enjoy. So she is entitled to appointment to any position, which is very important. But then some people were citing that this has become a trend where children of veteran Anyanya soldiers who fought during the struggle, their children are getting into prominent position, and they've cited the likes of Kwal Manyang Juk, the former presidential advisor, and governor of Jonglei State, the daughter got appointed into Ministry of Trade also. Dr. James Waniiga, whose son got also appointed as executive director in the South Sudan Roads Authority, and the list goes on and on. So many people came out, especially civilians and but also civil society activists and political analysts, criticizing the move. But I personally wrote a post about that. But in this video, I want us to look at it at a very different angle. One is how strategic this appointment is and how it could mean a lot to the South Sudanese people. And on the strategy, I feel that the appointment of Adut is a very good fit because one, Adut worked as a humanitarian person leading the Adut Salva Kiir Foundation, which is providing humanitarian services across South Sudan, and probably she has drawn the experience from that leading that humanitarian organization. So she probably has the experience in doing that. So the position that Adut is appointed to serve in probably align with her previous experience that she has been doing, and she is familiar probably with it. And also, so many people would analyze this appointment in very different way. This appointment, so many people will analyze it in very different way. One is that, remember, the position that Adut is going to be serving in is one that was held by Dr. Benjamin Bolmel, the current Vice President of South Sudan. And when Mel was appointed, remember, even being in that position alone, previously, we served in that position, he was very powerful. And it was from there that he got himself into the presidency, the vice presidency position. So many people analyze the appointment of Adut to that position as a change of political plan by Salva Kiir because initially people thought that the reason of appointing Bolmel to the presidency is so that he succeeds President Kiir. But with the appointment of Adut to the position of the senior presidential envoy on special program, some people will look at it as a way of President Kiir changing his plan of making Mel his successor, but opting out for his own daughter, Adut, because to so many people, it seems like he's taking the same route, bringing Adut to the position of senior presidential advisor, and then later maybe bring her to the presidency as well. So that's how so many people perceive the appointment, and if that is it, it is also strategic. But the major reason why I made this video is because I feel that if Adut exploit that position very well, it can lead to a very different political shift. Like she could use it as a way of putting clear or right the image of her father, the President Kiir, but also this entire government. Because one, Adut has three important advantages of serving in that position. One is that being the daughter to the president, Adut have enjoyed the privilege of probably traveling the world and studying outside South Sudan, getting exposed to how democracies operate, getting to know how countries that are ahead of the world do their things. So in that position, she is an exposed person, and when she comes back, I expect her to be serving in that position with ideals that are not only limited to how the system has been operating in South Sudan, but she can bring in a new way on how she look at things and incorporate into her workings, which can clearly create a very big difference. That is one. The first thing is about her exposure. Being an exposed person, a daughter to the president, she lived outside South Sudan, get exposed South Sudan outside, get exposed to other countries outside South Sudan, and probably she has very good links outside there. So that is a very good position that she can serve in and bring in about change. The second reason is that being a daughter to the president, Adut can be listened to by Salva Kiir more than any other person. Being the daughter of the president, she is privileged So this means that Kiir can listen to Adut so much. So if Adut um, exploit that chance, that status of being the daughter to the president, and brings in the grievances, the complaints of the people to her father, Salva Kiir, probably that will bring about change. Kiir will incorporate everything that she'll be telling him or advising him to do, and that will bring about change. And by the way, I watched that about 8 minutes speech that she gave during, I think that the Thanksgiving. Um, and in her speech, I have seen attributes of a very different leader. Because, first of all, the thing that she did is that her speech was delivered entirely in English and then followed by Tongmonjang in Denka. And the fact that she was able to deliver her speech in English, it's going to serve a wider community of people in South Sudan. That is a very different thing that I've never seen with so many people who got appointed into positions. Whenever they go out there for their Thanksgiving, they speak entirely in their dialect. It could be in Bari, Pojulu, Denka, Nuer. That is how it has been working. But when she came in, she gave a speech in English that served so many people. That means that signals so much that she's going to be serving a wider community of people, not only, limited to a certain community. That is very important. Second of all, when she was also giving her speech, I have realized that um, she was a kind of an open person, because she spoke of having an open door policy. When she has her office fully established, she's going to have an open door policy where she will be ready to welcome all complaints from the people. Anyone who feels they want to go to her office, they are free to go and knock at their door, and they can listen to them. That is one thing that I've never seen in so many people, in so many leaders. I've never seen it. The first time I've seen Adut speaking it. Having an open door policy where your office, you realize that it is a public office that brings in different people. People comes in with their complaint, and she can forward them ahead. And she used these complaints to advise the president on different matters. That is very important. But the most important of all is when she said that she is going to accept criticism from the public. Very important thing. When was the last time, or when was the time you heard about a South Sudanese leader speaking about accepting criticism from the public? I've never heard of that. So when Adut was speaking during her Thanksgiving ceremony, she spoke about it, that her office will be open to criticism from the public. If you see that there's something she's not doing better, she's ready to be criticized on it. That is one attribute of a good leader. That is a very good signal of a good leader. And but lastly, she also talked about not need to celebrate so much about her appointment as the senior presidential envoy on special program. But she said that the real celebration will only happen when they build the schools for those displaced people, when they build or when they deliver services to the people. This is a very clear attribute of a person who values service delivery more than personal gratifications. Very important thing. And these are all qualities that I've seen in her. So I feel if Adut exploit her position very well, if she exploit her position very well, she can use it to bring about change to the country. She can use it to garner herself support from South Sudanese across ethnic lines, and it's a very good position, and she is ahead of so many people who are powerful in the government right now, because she is an exposed person. She is a daughter to the president. She is a very young South Sudanese, probably one that fall under the age bracket of majority of South Sudanese, a very young person. So this means that her mind will resonate with the larger community or population of South Sudan, especially the young people. Being a young person means you listen to the young person, you understand their needs, you understand their challenges, you understand their demands, and taking these demands, using them to advise the president so that the president can deliver services that can actually impact on the young people. So these are very many things that I feel that Adut has, that if she exploits them very well, it can make her one of the best leaders in the country, and she can use that position to actually advise the president and bring about changes to the young people in South Sudan. Very, very important. And I want to summarize again that she stands a very high chance of being a very, very prominent person, a voices to the youth, voices to the women, and a voices to the disadvantaged population, because she will be serving in a position, I mean, displaying roles on very critical roles on a conflict or affected area like South Sudan or country like South Sudan. That's all what she needs to do. Use that chance in that position and exploit it. So if she used that very well, I think her leadership would actually bring about change to South Sudan, and that is the reason why I said Adut's appointment could be a very good one and a very strategic if she only exploit it very well, because she is a very young person. She is a daughter to the president. She will be close to the president, and the president listen to her. And she is also an exposed person who have traveled the world, who have worked outside there, have seen how things are being done in the outside world, and she can bring all these ideas back home and incorporate them. She, for instance, talked about how she's gonna maybe talk with the Qatari government and make sure that the services that are brought to South Sudan, the ones that respects the dignity of the people of South Sudan. These are all very good things that she spoke about, but she only used to exploit that position in a very good way. And I feel if she does that, then she stands high chances of being celebrated as one of the prominent leaders in South Sudan, not by only a community of people, but by the different communities in South Sudan. So thank you so much. This video, I made it just about this topic, and I still remain Emmanuel Taban, and this is the Concern Podcast. So if you feel this video is interesting, please put a subscription on it, or just tap on the notification button so you can get notified of more videos. And thanks. Until next time, I remain